What if, one day, you suddenly discovered that your ancestors had hidden 101 gold bars worth millions of dollars? But there's one small problem. The treasure is buried beneath the most dangerous and high-security prison in the entire country. Now the question is, how can someone enter a prison and recover that treasure? And an even bigger question, getting into the prison might be easy, but how will he come out alive carrying 101 gold bars? The name of the film is Golden Escape. Hello friends, I'm Sam, and you're watching Know the Story Global. Before starting the video, I have a small request. If you're new to this channel, then please do subscribe. Our story begins inside a highly dangerous prison where tension among inmates is an everyday occurrence. Two powerful groups ruled this prison, the Crab Gang and the Tiger Gang. Their rivalry was so intense that even the smallest disagreement could turn into a violent confrontation. One day, the atmosphere becomes so heated that it seems a bloodshed is inevitable. The real issue was deciding which gang would dominate the prison. Members from both sides stand ready for battle. At that moment, a member of the Crab Gang named Zhang steps forward. He tells Crab that he wants to fight the Tiger Gang's champion himself. Zhang's goal is to prove his courage and make a name for himself. However, the leader of the Tiger Gang bursts into laughter after hearing this. The reason? His champion is one of the most dangerous fighters in the entire prison. And then, exactly what everyone expected happens. The fight begins, and Zhang is brutally beaten. Within moments, he collapses to the ground, groaning in pain. Crab is about to step in and help him when prison guards arrive and break up the confrontation before things get worse. Now let's rewind the story a little. Zhang wasn't actually a criminal. He was a screenplay writer who earned his living by writing scripts for films. But for the past few months, he had been suffering from severe creative block. He couldn't write a good script and was constantly missing deadlines. Because of this, he had already taken advance payments from several people, and now those commitments had become a huge problem. One particular client had paid him in advance for a script, but despite months passing by, Zhang still hadn't delivered it. Furious, the man threatened him repeatedly. Terrified, Zhang begs for 2 more months to finish the script, but the man only gives him 4 days and warns that if the script isn't delivered, both of Zhang's hands will be cut off. Writing an entire script in just 4 days was nearly impossible. Even so, Zhang locks himself inside his house and works day and night. He tries combining old story ideas and creating new ones, but even by the 4th day, the script remained unfinished. Overwhelmed by stress, he drinks heavily that night. While intoxicated, he receives a message informing him that a package sent by his grandfather had arrived a few days earlier. Curious, he searches for the package and opens it. Inside, he finds an old letter and a strange map. As he slowly begins reading the letter, he is completely stunned. The letter revealed that many years ago, Zhang's ancestors hid 101 gold bars in a secret location. During the Japanese invasion of their country, the family concealed the treasure inside an ancient well. However, when British rule arrived, the family's mansion was demolished and replaced by a massive prison. As a result, the treasure remained buried beneath the prison grounds. The map included the exact location of the hidden treasure. Before his death, Zhang's grandfather had one final wish, that one of his descendants would recover the treasure. That's why he left both the map and the letter specifically for Zhang. To prove that the story was real, he had also included a genuine gold bar inside the package. The moment Zhang sees the gold, he realizes that everything written in the letter is true. But there was one enormous problem. The treasure was hidden beneath the country's most secure prison, a place so heavily guarded that even a mosquito could barely escape. Now the challenge was obvious. How would Zhang enter the prison, recover such a massive treasure, and somehow bring it back out? But at this point, he had nothing left to lose. So he makes a firm decision. No matter what happens, he will complete this mission. He spends an entire day designing a plan to get inside the prison and locate the treasure. Once the strategy is ready, his first objective becomes clear. He must get himself imprisoned. And to enter prison, he needs to commit a crime. So he intentionally destroys a man's laptop right in front of the police. As expected, he is immediately arrested and sent straight to the terrifying prison. His sentence is only 3 months. That means he has just 90 days to find the treasure and complete the entire mission. But prison life is far from easy. When he arrives, he sees inmates secretly gathering weapons and preparing to attack one another, which completely shocks him. However, a little later, he discovers that it wasn't a real fight at all. It was actually a surprise celebration for Crab's birthday. It is during this event that Zhang meets Crab for the first time. The moment Crab hears Zhang's name, his expression changes. The reason is simple. Crab once had a close friend named Zhang who sacrificed his own life to save him. Because of those memories, Crab immediately accepts Zhang like a younger brother and promises that as long as Zhang remains in prison, nobody will be able to harm him. Crab and his gang aren't truly bad people, they simply stand against injustice. The Tiger Gang, however, is completely different. They thrive on trouble and conflict. With such powerful protection, Zhang believes his prison life might become easier. But the very next day, that illusion is shattered. Members of the Tiger Gang capture him and drag him to their leader. There, they ask whether he already belongs to any gang. Since Zhang wants to keep his real mission secret, he hides his connection with Crab and claims that he isn't part of any group. The moment Tiger hears this, he decides to recruit Zhang into his own gang. According to their rules, every new member must prove loyalty by drinking a beverage mixed with Tiger's spit. Hearing this, Zhang's face turns pale. Reluctantly, he reaches for the glass, but just before he drinks it, Crab arrives. In front of everyone, Crab announces that Zhang is his younger brother and already belongs to the Crab Gang. Tiger is furious. Gang rules forbid forcing members from rival gangs to switch sides. Humiliated in front of everyone, Tiger's anger reaches its peak. He openly warns Zhang that he would eventually take revenge. And from that moment onward, instead of becoming easier, Zhang's life inside prison becomes even more complicated. Meanwhile, he begins carefully exploring every corner of the prison. He knew the treasure was hidden near a large tree. After days of searching, he finally discovered the old tree. But one question still remains. How is he supposed to retrieve the treasure under such intense security? One day, the prison warden informs him that he has been assigned a part-time job in the laundry section. The moment Zhang heard this, he secretly smiled because he realized this opportunity might finally bring him one step closer to the hidden treasure. Because of this new assignment, Zhang would get access to many more areas of the prison, giving him a better chance to continue his search. One day, while going through old books and records in the prison library, he discovered documents that mentioned the hidden treasure. This confirmed that his ancestors' wealth was indeed hidden somewhere within or around the prison grounds. However, there was a major obstacle. To find the treasure's exact location, he needed access to the prison's confidential room, where the original blueprints and floor plans of the facility were stored. Zhang became obsessed with figuring out a way to get inside that room. At that very moment, Tiger and his men arrived. Tiger had never forgotten the humiliation he suffered earlier and had been waiting for the perfect opportunity to take revenge. Meanwhile, Crab had been searching for Zhang for quite some time. When he couldn't find him anywhere, he immediately suspected Tiger's involvement. Crab confronted Tiger and demanded to know Zhang's whereabouts. As usual, Tiger set a disgusting condition. He said he would reveal the truth only if Crab drank his drink. Crab's gang members were furious, but Zhang had become much more than just another inmate to Crab. He had become family. Without hesitation, Crab accepted the humiliation. Once the condition was fulfilled, Tiger revealed that Zhang had been beaten and thrown into a garbage dumpster.
Hearing this, everyone rushed to the spot and rescued Zhang. Several days passed. Then, Zhang learned that a massive fight between the prison's two biggest gangs was scheduled that evening. The moment he heard this, a new plan formed in his mind. He realized that when the guards rushed in to stop the fight, he could steal the key to the confidential room and slip inside unnoticed. Soon, the fight erupted exactly as expected. Guards flooded the area to regain control. Taking advantage of the chaos, Zhang quietly stole a key from a guard's belt and sprinted towards the confidential room. But just as he was about to unlock the door, Tiger appeared in front of him once again. Tiger assumed Zhang was trying to escape from prison. Within seconds, a fierce fight broke out between them. Crab rushed in to help Zhang, but during the struggle, the key slipped from Zhang's hand and slid underneath another door. The loss devastated him. In his frustration, Zhang blamed Crab. He angrily claimed that if he had stayed with Tiger's gang instead of joining Crab's, he would never have lost such an important opportunity. Crab repeatedly explained that he had only been trying to protect him, but Zhang refused to listen. Surprisingly, Crab never got angry at him. Later, another prisoner told Zhang how lucky he was to have someone like Crab looking out for him. Those words hit him hard, and slowly he began to realize how unfairly he had treated Crab. A few days later, Zhang approached Crab and apologized. At that point, he decided to stop hiding the truth. Seeing Crab as an elder brother, he revealed everything, from the mysterious letter to the hidden treasure and the real reason he had entered prison in the first place. At first, Crab found the story difficult to believe, but he trusted Zhang's honesty and knew he wasn't the type to lie, so without hesitation, he agreed to help. Now the two of them began planning the real mission. Their first objective was still the confidential room.
One day, Crab intentionally threw detergent on a prison guard. Since the guard was severely allergic to detergent, he immediately became ill. During the confusion, Zhang managed to obtain the guard's uniform and key. Disguised as a guard, he successfully entered the confidential room. Inside, he found an old blueprint of the prison. After studying it carefully, he discovered that the ancient well containing the treasure was located directly beneath the prison playground. Digging in the middle of the playground was impossible. Then Zhang remembered something from his grandfather's map, a basement passage leading to the playground. According to the map, that basement was hidden beneath the prison's chemical room. Their next mission became clear: find the basement entrance. The two entered the chemical room and eventually discovered a locked door. They broke the chain securing it and descended below. After walking a considerable distance, they encountered a massive wall. On the other side of that wall lay both the playground and the treasure. The problem was obvious. How could they possibly break through such a solid barrier? Fortunately, Zhang came up with an ingenious solution. He found an old broken washing machine, removed its motor, and converted it into a makeshift drilling device. To reduce noise, he wrapped the machine in layers of cloth. Even then, drilling through a thick wall would create a lot of sound. That's when Crab proposed a brilliant idea. Whenever Zhang operated the drill, every washing machine in the prison's laundry would be switched on simultaneously. The combined noise would completely mask the drilling sounds. Zhang loved the idea. From that day onward, they worked on the wall little by little. After many days of effort, Zhang weakened the structure so precisely that one strong push finally caused the entire wall to collapse. And the moment it fell, the centuries-old well appeared before them. Both Zhang and Crab were overwhelmed with excitement. The treasure hunt had finally reached its most critical stage.
Determined to uncover the secret hidden for generations, Zhang and Crab entered the concealed chamber beyond the well. Before proceeding, Crab informed Zhang that he would stay above to keep watch and warn him if anyone approached. With that, Crab left, and Zhang continued alone through the dark passage. He traveled deep into the underground tunnel, searching every corner carefully. Yet, despite all his efforts, he found neither a treasure chest nor any sign of hidden gold. According to the letter, the treasure was supposed to be stored inside a box. After searching for a long time and finding nothing, Zhang finally sat down in disappointment. Eventually, Crab came down to check on him. He immediately noticed Zhang's defeated expression. At that moment, Zhang happened to be sitting beside an old box. Crab casually removed a metal bar resting on top of it. The instant the bar was lifted, the box slowly began to open by itself. What they saw next left them speechless. The long-lost treasures, 101 gold bars. For several moments, neither of them could believe what they were looking at. The treasure had finally been found. But discovering it and smuggling it out of the prison were two completely different challenges. So first, they transported all the gold bars to a safer location. Then, Zhang came up with another clever plan. He hid all the gold bars inside a large bucket filled with acid. He knew that acid wouldn't damage gold, and no guard would willingly inspect a container full of dangerous chemicals. Now the next question was how to get the gold outside the prison. After thinking carefully, Zhang remembered the laundry trolley used every Sunday to transport clothes in and out of the prison. His idea was simple: hide the gold bars inside the trolley's empty compartments. The trolley would be taken to the prison garage and remain there for an entire week. By then, Zhang's sentence would be over. Once released, he could quietly retrieve the treasure from the garage.
Around this time, Chang told Crab that he considered him more than a friend. He was like an elder brother. Because of that, Crab deserved a share of the treasure as well. After all, Crab's daughter couldn't afford admission to a good college because of financial difficulties. Everything seemed to be moving perfectly according to plan. Then, fate suddenly changed everything. One day, over a minor issue, Tiger brutally broke the arm of one of Crab's gang members. Enraged by what he saw, Crab immediately went to confront Tiger. Meanwhile, Tiger already hated Chang, so he headed straight to the laundry room and began beating him. During the struggle, the bucket of acid tipped over and all the hidden gold bars spilled out into the open. The sight of so much gold instantly caught Tiger's attention. And just then, Crab arrived and launched himself at Tiger. Consumed by anger, Crab decided that Tiger could not be allowed to live any longer. After all, Tiger now knew the secret of the treasure. Crab wraps a rope around Tiger's neck and nearly kills him, but at the last moment, Chang steps in and stops him. He pushes Crab away, and Crab is left shocked by Chang's reaction. Just then, the guards arrived. The three men quickly hide the gold and make up a story to avoid suspicion. As soon as the guards leave, Tiger reveals his true intentions. He says that if they want to take the treasure out of the prison, he must get a share of it, otherwise he will report everything to the authorities. Crab strongly opposes the deal, but Chang reluctantly agrees. This deeply hurts Crab. He begins to believe that Chang has bowed before a man like Tiger simply because of greed for the gold. Feeling betrayed, Crab decides to walk away from the mission. To make matters worse, he receives devastating news that his daughter has fallen into a coma after an accident. Now, escaping from the prison becomes his only priority. Meanwhile, Tiger is secretly plotting something else. When he learns that Chang is considering taking the treasure and escaping alone, Tiger decides to kill him and claim all the gold for himself. However, Crab arrives at exactly the right moment. He makes it clear that he doesn't want a single piece of the treasure. All he cares about is making sure everyone gets out of the prison alive.
Now, Tiger, Crab, and Zhang begin planning their escape together. But Zhang's original plan can no longer work because 3 people now need to escape instead of 1. On top of that, his release date is approaching fast and he desperately needs more time. That's when Tiger offers a solution. And suddenly, the movie's opening scene makes sense, the one where Tiger was brutally beating Zhang. It turns out the entire incident was staged so that Zhang would receive additional punishment and have his release delayed. A few more days pass and Zhang finally creates a master plan. He decides that they will escape on the night of the prison's annual party. Security is usually more relaxed on that day, making it the perfect opportunity. After conducting research, Zhang discovers that when the prison was renovated, a new drainage system was installed. The old drainage tunnel had been abandoned and led directly to the sea. If they could reach that tunnel, freedom would be within their grasp. The next challenge was figuring out how to transport all the gold bars. To solve this problem, Crab designs special clothing filled with hidden pockets, allowing them to conceal the gold bars on their bodies. But carrying the treasure wasn't enough. They also needed a major distraction. For that, Zhang develops a brilliant plan. During the annual party, the gas balloons decorating the prison will be filled with ethanol gas instead of regular gas. The idea is simple. Once a fire starts, the balloons will explode one after another, throwing the entire prison into chaos. The problem, however, is that they have no lighter or ignition source. So, Zhang creates a makeshift timer using a toothpaste tube, 2 pencil batteries, and iron foam. Water is placed inside the tube and allowed to drip slowly. Once the water runs out, the battery falls onto the iron foam, creating a spark. And when that spark appears, the explosion becomes inevitable. After preparing everything, Zhang, Crab, and Tiger patiently wait for the annual party. Finally, the night arrives. The 3 men quietly sit in their positions, waiting for the perfect moment. Then, right on schedule, the device ignites. Within seconds, a huge explosion rocks the entire prison. Panic spreads everywhere as prisoners and guards run in every direction. Using the chaos to their advantage, Crab, Tiger, and Zhang head straight towards the abandoned tunnel.
Zhang has already made a duplicate key to access a locked room, so entering is easy. They're wearing jackets packed with gold bars and carrying long ropes. The plan is to reach the sea through the tunnel and escape aboard a boat that Tiger has already prepared. But disaster strikes inside the tunnel. At a sharp turn, Zhang badly injures his leg. The pain is so severe that even taking a single step becomes difficult. Forced to stop, Zhang tells Crab that he probably won't be able to continue and asks him and Tiger to finish the mission without him, but Crab refuses to leave him behind. Meanwhile, Tiger finds a knife. The look in his eyes immediately reveals that his intentions are far from noble. Crab manages to stop the bleeding in Zhang's leg, and the 3 continue toward the tunnel's end. After a long journey, they finally reach the exit. But their hopes are shattered when they discover a massive iron wall completely blocking the way out. Fortunately, Zhang has already anticipated this problem. He correctly assumed that a tunnel this old would contain large amounts of methane gas. If the gas could be ignited, the resulting explosion might be powerful enough to destroy the iron barrier. Following his instructions, they open the safety gates and allow the methane gas to spread. Then Zhang activates his battery and iron foam device. The moment the spark is created, a gigantic explosion shakes the entire area. And with that blast, the massive iron wall finally collapses. Freedom is now only a few steps away. But the fear they always had about Tiger soon becomes reality. The moment they get outside, Tiger shows his true colors. Taking advantage of the situation, he attacks both Crab and Zhang with the knife. His plan had always been the same, to keep all the gold for himself.
In truth, he had only kept Zhang alive because Zhang was the only person who knew the escape route. Now that the mission is complete, Tiger decides to eliminate both of them. During the brutal fight, Tiger breaks Crab's arm and pushes him over the edge toward the sea while he is still attached to a rope. Zhang desperately grabs hold of him, preventing him from falling. But Crab isn't ready to give up. At the perfect moment, he grabs Tiger's leg and pulls him down into the deep ocean. At last, Tiger receives the punishment for his betrayal. Now Zhang finds himself hanging between two choices. With one hand, he's holding Crab. With the other, he's holding the gold bars. He struggles to save both, but quickly realizes that it is impossible. He can only save one. And at that moment, Zhang makes the most important decision of his life. This time, he chooses not the treasure, but his brother-like friend. He lets go of the gold bars and saves Crab instead. In the end, both men survive and willingly surrender themselves to the police. The story then jumps forward 4 months. A police officer announces that all the gold bars have been recovered from the sea. Since the treasure originally belonged to Zhang's ancestors, it will legally be returned to Zhang. At the same time, Crab receives wonderful news. His daughter has finally come out of her coma, and he is now allowed to see her. After countless struggles and sacrifices, Zhang successfully completes the mission of recovering his family's lost treasure. And with that, the story comes to an end. But this story leaves us with an important lesson. No matter how valuable money or treasure may be, the people who stand beside us during our darkest moments are worth far more. In the end, Zhang faced a choice between unimaginable wealth and a friend who had become like a brother, and he chose humanity over gold. Perhaps that is why he not only found the treasure, but also earned everyone's respect and admiration. So friends, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, Know the Story Global, for more amazing movie explanations. Your support motivates me to bring more incredible stories to you. Until the next video, take care of yourselves, and thank you for watching.